Hey everyone, if you've been facing problems and challenges in your life, you've already been very successful, stick around because in this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can take an idea from your mind, execute it, and make it come to life. My name is Marlon Gomez Development Group. I'm a real estate developer, investor, and owner. And what I've done is during the last year, I've documented the entire process of what it has taken, what it's really taken to make my project come to life. What you see right behind me is a 133 unit, 7-story apartment community here in Miami-Dade County. And the goal for me to make this video for you guys is hopefully I can share some business insights, some strategies, and some lessons that you can take away and apply in your own business, apply in your own life. So listen, always remember, things are possible, life's full of possibilities, and all you have to do is take a step in the right direction. So come on over, follow me, and let's watch this thing unfold together. Let's go. Make come true, make a reality, starts with you. This is a project that's near and dear to my heart. It is a multi-family mid-rise apartment building in the heart of Miami, Florida. I set on this journey to bring about this project, and there were many obstacles along the way, and through passion, persistence, dedication, and just continuing to not let obstacles stand in your way, this came to life. Initially, this site, when I came to the property owner and I said, look, I want to go ahead and buy this project, buy this location, buy this particular site, was a 13-story project. And you think, well, what just happened? We went from 13 stories down to 7. It didn't work at 13 stories. Like, just because somebody had something designed a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that was going to work. I looked around the community, I looked to see what the market rate rents were, I looked to see what construction costs were, and I made the determination that there was no way this was going to work. However, I loved the location. In real estate, the location is probably one of the most important things there is by far. Everybody talks about location, location, location. It is very true. Location is super important. First thing I did was sat with the owner and I said, listen, we need to determine how we can make this thing work. I want to buy your site. Right? I want to do this deal with you. However, we need to make it work for both of us. So the first thing you always have to have in mind is your vision. What it is that you want to take from your mind, from your vision, you put it on paper and you execute the heck out of it. You work very hard every single day to make this thing come together. So that was step one. Step one, take your vision very clearly, put it on paper, work with the right team, and then work every single day very hard to get to that end result or the end goal. This is our scaffolding. So the scaffolding that we brought is what's going to be holding our second floor deck, right? That gets set up and it supports the second floor deck. So all of this scaffolding is gonna end up looking just like that, which is what we have under there. All of the columns for our project and our underground foundation system has already been completed. So as you look through all of the columns that we have, right, every single column that's here has been completely done. We're already doing the second floor columns. Our second floor is being prepared to be poured. Right, so we will have a concrete pour on Monday, and the crew worked today to get everything ready, to get everything inspected. The bottom line is you have to always keep this in mind. Inspect what you expect. Lay it out exactly what you need. I expect this concrete and this floor to be poured in this way with this type of material, and so I will come and inspect it, right? Because it matters to me, it's important to me, it has my name on it. It also has all the different team members that we worked on, the partners that are included in this project. So it's very important that what we receive as our end quality product is what we expected, and the only way that that will ever happen is if you inspect it yourself. All right guys, so I just took a look at what we had on the first floor, our shoring. Now we're gonna go ahead and go to the second floor. Follow me, we'll take a look at what progress has been made, and excited to show you guys. you have to understand two things: debt and equity. They're two different buckets of capital. Debt is a loan that you will place on your property or for your project. Equity are the dollars that you have to raise from an investor, private institution, family funds, your own dollars. Two different buckets of capital that are going to have different risk requirements and different rewards. Debt, or that loan, is going to have a fixed interest rate. Call it 5%, 6%, wherever the market rate is at that time, right? Debt, or the loan, or the lender, typically does not take a percentage of your profits. However, equity, when you raise equity, which is one of the more challenging aspects of the entire development process or purchasing an existing property, equity are dollars that you have to bring in, like I said, from yourself or from your partners, right? That you're going to give a percentage of the profits. You're going to give a share of whatever comes in, whether it's the cash flow income stream, or whether it's once you sell and refinance your project, or when you sell it all completely, you're going to have to give equity a share. And so whereas debt comes in at a 5 to 10% interest rate, equity could be up to 50, 60, 70, 80% of your profits of your project, depending on how you structure your deal, okay? Depending on how you negotiate it and what it is you're offering to that investor that's coming in with you. All right, guys, we're gonna go up to the second floor and we're gonna show exactly what progress we've been making over the past week. So here we go.
I'll show you guys something pretty neat. This is called galvanized rebar, and they use it here on our project. Let's take a look at this right here. Yep, that's galvanized rebar. It's a little bit more expensive than the traditional rebar right down there, but it's important to be used on the anything that's exterior. You see right behind me, this is all parking area, and that is all going to be poured. The remaining of the work right back here is to form the second floor deck. So very, very soon here, you will have an entire second floor poured. And just want to let you guys know, when it comes to working hard or being overworked or burnout, listen, when you love what you're doing, when you're doing it every day and it's something that you're passionate for and you want to just continue to see progress, there's no such thing. It doesn't feel like that. When you're working on your dream and you continue to see progress. Progress is the key. Progress is the key to happiness, right? Working with the right architect, the right engineering team, even though we've had minor coordination issues along the way, they've been minor. They've been things that can be overcome. And no matter what project you're ever involved with, there's always going to be issues. There's always going to be obstacles and challenges for every single project. And that's just part of the process. So we try to reduce that by working with the right architecture team, the right contracting team, the right consultants, limit the risk, limit the number of problems in the future, but to eliminate them altogether would be almost unrealistic. So don't quit on what you're doing. Enjoy the process. That's the key. Enjoy the process. I enjoy this process. I enjoy the process of taking a site from, whatever the previous use was to its highest and best use, acquiring the land, going through the entitlements, the approvals, all the ups and downs and those hurdles, government and municipalities, getting plans designed to make sure that they work the correct way, and ultimately getting building permits, negotiating with contractors, going through that process until you're here when we're actually building, right? When we're actually constructing, when we actually got our tower crane out here. So I enjoy the entire process along the way. Now this is the construction phase. Soon enough we'll be done with this and we'll be ready for the moving phase. I'm always looking for ways to continue moving the project forward. That's my key, that's my goal. Keeping everybody on track, everybody on the same page, and dealing with overcoming problems and obstacles, right? That's the key. Problems and obstacles, overcoming, that's what we do. That is what a successful entrepreneur does all the time, creating value, working with the right resources, and enjoying the journey, the entire process every day.
One of the most important aspects during the development process is reporting. You have to have reports, multiple reports constantly of all aspects. whether that's financial reporting, whether that's construction or renovation reporting, whether that's how your asset is performing. You have to have reports so you can understand on a consistent basis how you can improve upon what's already happening. Right? You have to be able to forecast out, right, where dollars need to go and what the market could be doing. Basically, with these reports, you'll be able to understand your project a lot better. So always remember, ask for reports. Go through them in detail. If you don't understand something in here, ask questions. But important to have a good set of reporting documentation so you know exactly what you're doing at all times. Hey guys, so what we have up here is, you can see our second floor deck. We have the tables. Tables arrived. These tables are like scaffolding, but they're already pre-made, and they're going to support the third floor. So the third floor is going to be supported by these tables. Concrete will get poured on the third floor, and it's going to make the progress and production a lot faster. So come on, I'll show you guys.
Los cables ya están estresados.
Tú y yo siempre estamos sincronizados. Eso seguro.
Vamos a cortarlo.
Sí.
Le vamos a meter, ya taladramos ahí, metemos todavía el tapa en bajo, limpiamos y lo fundimos hoy.
Perfecto. Sí, esa fue la pieza que estábamos hablando ayer, ¿no? De dejar afuera. Ok, perfecto. No, está bien.
Como esto es algo que no va a tener acceso.
Sí. Sí, porque todo esto va a quedar cerrado, pero igual en el futuro uno nunca sabe. Es mejor tener ahí. Ok, perfecto.
Vamos a cortar, porque siempre el cable se corta que hay adentro, pero como no tenemos antorcha aquí, le vamos a dar con una sierra lo más que podamos.
Está bien. So this is the final piece that we have left to pour. There's not going to be anything else left on the second floor. This section here will be done. We have probably about 300 cubic yards, which is about 30 truckloads that are coming through. It's an 8-inch slab. All the red cables that you see, those are all the post-tension cables, right? So the reason for the post-tension cables is it's going to give a lot more strength to the slab, and it's going to allow a lot less concrete to be placed on there. So far, we've been working pretty much 7 days a week, about 12 hours a day. It hasn't stopped. A job like this, 7-story mid-rise, we're trying to get done in about a year, even sooner if we can. So we're taking advantage of the hot sun and the great days that we're having here in Miami, trying to make sure that we're completely out and done and wrapped with the building before hurricane season. So we're taking that advantage. So anytime you're scheduling or preparing for anything that you're doing, make sure you forecast and you look out how far you can go, because there may be some climate things, you know, depending on what part of the world you're in, that you have to take into consideration. So we're taking advantage of a lot of the great weather that we're having now. Guys, when you're finally done with your plans, or just about done with your plans, you have to move to the next stage. What's that next stage? You need to find out what this thing is going to actually cost you. You might have an idea of what the costs are going to be based on historical data, based on prior experience, based on discussions with others in the market currently. But until you go out and you get pricing from multiple contractors, right, subcontractors, you don't know. So make sure you spend the time. This is just one of the pricing books that we have, right, that tell you this is what the cost is going to be. Because you don't want to just come to market with your plans and then have the contractors tell you this is what it's going to cost. You want to understand, remember, your material cost. You want to understand your subcontractor cost, so that when you sit with your general contractor, you can have a very good discussion and say, these are the costs that I'm seeing in the market right now. How do we work together so we can make this property come to life? We just finished right now a pour, about 300 yards of concrete for this fourth floor. We have 3 more floors to go. You know, very excited that we're at this stage right now. Always be making progress, no matter what it is, you know, whether it's little progress, major progress. Progress is key, it's super important, right? So every day wake up and see, what can I accomplish on this day that can help me get closer to my goal? What am I doing that's going to get me that much closer, right? Don't take steps back, don't stay neutral, continue moving forward. When I come to the job site, which I'm here, I come every day, this is kind of like seeing my kid grow up. When I come to see a project as a real estate developer, the thing that I want to see the most important thing is progress. I want to understand the problems that are happening on the job site but I need to see progress, and progress only comes from when you're seeing, the right amount of resources, the right amount of labor, the right amount of equipment, materials on the job site. And seeing this right over here, this 300-yard pour of concrete this morning, this is progress. We finish here, we move on right down this direction, and we're expecting to see more progress. So by Wednesday, a few days from now, this Saturday morning, by Wednesday, maybe Thursday at the latest, we'll be seeing additional progress. Right now, the entire 4th floor has been completed. Then that means we're ready for the 5th floor. Always continue to make progress. That's extremely important in anything you do in life. Always keep that in mind.
Hey guys, it's so important that you understand your market at a high level and then take a deep dive into understanding your market at the most minuscule detailed level. Listen, when I'm putting these projects together, first thing I want to understand is what's the existing stock of product in my market, what that's renting for, how's that performing. So what do? I go out and I get existing projects, existing properties that are on the market. Then I go out and I see what's coming to the market, what's new. What are some of the ones that I'm going to be competing against under construction, during lease up? So I have to understand my market. I have to know what I'm competing against that's already there in place and what I'm going to be competing against in the future with new projects. Okay? That's very important. That's going to help me understand how I can put together my data for the numbers for my properties, right? That's the only way. You have to understand the market at such a deep level that you can speak to the previous current stuff that's in place and the future project that's coming online. And that's going to help you build your whole pro forma, put your numbers together, and make them work for you. All right?
All right, guys, so right behind me, what we're seeing is our pool, which is super exciting because I work really closely with our design team and our engineering team to make sure that our pool fits, works for the tenants that we're gonna have in the building, works from a structural perspective, and works from a design perspective, and just plain and simply works. So right down here, that's our pool. It's very interesting. So what you're seeing around the perimeter of the pool is a very silver rebar. That's called galvanized rebar. It's important to have galvanized rebar in areas that are exposed, where there's water, because you don't want the rebar to oxidize. So that's why you see, here, a lot of that silver, it's called galvanized rebar. We're seeing this thing being built right now as we speak. It's interesting how, if you look at it, the pool's being framed on top of the columns, right? So it's not a ground floor pool. It's an above ground pool, and this is how you frame a pool.
Guys, raising equity is one of the most challenging aspects of all real estate investing, all real estate development. That's the number one obstacle everybody says. How do I raise equity? How do I bring funds into this project? How do I bring funds into this renovation job? How do I bring funds into this real estate deal? So how do you do that? Exactly what I always keep saying. First, you have to understand your market. Second, you have to have a project in place to be able to present it. Third, you have to be able to explain that project from a high level, right? What's the story? Why is this a good market? Why is this a good deal? Down to the financial projections, how much is required, what's needed, what's the cash flow looking like, what's the exit strategy, are we going to sell, are we going to hold, how much returns are going to be generated. You need to be able to explain those things when you're sitting down with an investor who's going to give you funding for your property, your project, your business, whatever it is. Until you understand that at a deep level, you're not ready to do this. You're not ready to go out there and start raising equity. Make sure you have a good understanding, right? So that when you do get out there, someone else across the table is gonna look at you and say, this person knows what they're talking about, they instill confidence in me, and I'm going to fund them so that they can execute on their business plan.
So I brought my kids down to the job site the other day, and one of the things that that they saw were all these like squiggly lines. Right? You see all these little squiggly lines that we have here, the blue lines, we have some orange lines, we have a lot of markings with numbers. And so my kids were asking me, hey, Dad, what are all these squiggly lines on the ground? What do they represent? What are they useful for? Well, everything in construction has a purpose, just like everything in life has a purpose. You have to find what that purpose is and what it means to you. If you take a look right over here behind me, the guys right down there, the electricians, they're actually marking the ground as we speak, the wood platform. And the reason they're marking the wood platform is because they need to know where they're going to put their sleeving to run the pipes to go all the way through from the ground floor all the way up to the last floor. They also need to know which direction the pipes are going to run, right? Horizontal, east and west, north and south. Where are the pipes going? So you can't just come in here and start throwing pipes down on the ground, opening up holes without knowing where they're going to go. But even they don't know exactly where they're going to go. They have to rely on the plans. So crucial, very crucial, is set out your plan correctly, right? Whatever plan that means for you, whether you're doing a house, whether you're doing a large real estate development project like I am, like this project here, whether you are starting up an automotive shop and you want to build cars, whatever it is that you're doing, build your plans, because once you have your plans in hand, then you go and you execute exactly like what they're doing right now, and they start marking out where they're going to put their piping and their materials. You almost get one shot. You want to make sure that your plans are drawn out correctly the first time. Draw it out correctly, work on the plan, refine it, make sure it's good, because once you come here, you start marking things off, start laying things in areas where they have to go. At that point, you're ready, right? You're ready to start bringing in material, bringing in the piping, connecting things together. So the plan is important. And then every squiggly line you see, it's funny because my kids call it squiggly line. Every line that you see is marking to lay out the next trade, whether that's electrical, plumbing, mechanical, fire protection, right? They all require that. The columns that you see here, they were all laid out, marked on a grid line that shows you exactly where they needed to go. But all this data, all this information came from the set of plans that we had. And then, that's why I say, do it right the first time, do it correctly as you're designing it, lay it out the way you should, because then you have your concrete pour. And once you pour concrete, that's it. That means your piping, your post-tension cable, your electrical, your mechanical, your plumbing, all of that's already inside the concrete. A lot more expensive to correct mistakes later on than it is to correct them when you could just erase them off the ground, shift them to the side, or even better, as you're working on your plan, like your construction documents or your business plan, your business model, you can make adjustments there a lot. It's going to be a lot less costly than trying to come back and chip away and carve off at concrete that's already been poured.
Selecting your materials, I say this time and time again, go and look at different materials consistently to see what's going to fit your particular product, right? I selected this pool tile. I looked at how much square footage there was, what this was going to cost, and then I went to go visit the manufacturer and the supplier. And then I discussed with the contractor. I said, this is the pool tile that I want, and that's the one that we have now in place. So it's important that you guys look at things from a high level, the total project, and then dive deep into the small levels, as small as the pool tiles, so that you have a deep understanding of what it takes to put your project together.
As you're getting closer and closer to your goal, don't let your eyes off the prize. I'm already on the 5th floor. I got 2 more floors to go before we're topped off, and then the roof and the building's enclosed. We're there, we're very close, but you gotta keep your eyes on the details. Keep your eyes on the details no matter what. No matter what, till you cross the finish line, do not take your eyes off the details. I looked around the building and there were 2 different sections that I just talked to our construction management, general contractor, project management team, and we said, hey, these are areas that we still need to refine and adjust and make some adjustments to, which are only going to improve the building. So even as the project is going along, we're refining the plan somewhat. Now, it's not a great deviation, tiny, minuscule adjustments, but that are going to help the project that much more. As you can tell, all of our columns, right? They're gonna be prepped and ready. After even in the next few hours, they can start prepping the columns. It'll probably be done tomorrow, Saturday morning. They'll prep the columns. They may even be able to pour tomorrow. So we continue to make progress. One thing finishes, the next thing picks up. So always continue to make progress. That's the key to all of this.
Guys, you need to be laser focused on what it is that you're doing. That is extremely important. Have that tunnel vision. Focus exactly to what your goal is and what it is that you need to do. Because you remember, time is running consistently. If it's something that you had to do today, you're probably late. Should have done it yesterday or 2 days ago. So time is always going. Remember that. It's very important. When challenges come your way, roll over them, overcome them. Don't let them hold you back. Continue moving forward. Always remember to inspect what you expect. Set the expectations and inspect it, no matter what it is. Documents, bricks and sticks, other employees that you may have in your business, partnerships, whatever it is you're doing. Set your expectation and inspect it so that it matches, right? Very important. All these things are just some very small, minor tidbits that I hope help you guys along the way in your growth, in your business, whatever it is that you guys are doing.
Here's a simple question. It says, can you succeed in business if you're not smart? All right, so my answer to that is you do not have to be smart to succeed in business. You do not, listen to me again, you do not have to be smart. If you've been told your whole life that you're not smart, that you're not bright, that you're not this or you're not the other, I wouldn't even worry about it. Because the most important thing in business is to have grit and determination and tenacity. They're all the same thing. Grit means keep going no matter what. Reach your goal no matter what. Obstacles come your way, keep going. We're on the 5th floor, we're not stopping. We gotta go to the 7th, we're almost there, right? After that, problems arise as we're building the insides. We continue to go, we continue to move forward. So I have 0 change orders in this job right now, 0 change orders, right? And I'm going on to my 5th payment application, my 5th month. I'm almost halfway through this job. It's a very large project. You can imagine, maybe a $20 million type of project, right? I mean, just on the construction side alone. So, you would expect on any job you're gonna have big change orders. We don't have them. 1, because we've had a really good team. 2, because we've also had good design. 3, because as the real estate developer, the owner, I'm here constantly overseeing what's happening every single step of the way. But that all took place from way back when I first looked at what type of building we were gonna put on here, the design. That helps reduce the impact of change orders. Now there's other ways to build jobs. You could do a design build and you can kind of build it as you go along and be making changes and adjustments. This one, I went the full circle, got my plans approved, and then I went and sought out the right contractor for the job. But I did it differently. I looked at what the material costs were. I looked at what the sleeving was costing, what the deck was costing, what the rebar right around this, what's the post-tension costing us. You have to look at all that. You have to look at what everything is costing, what's the concrete that we're pouring, what's that costing. Once you have that understanding, then I worked with the subcontractors, put a good budget together, then I reached out to the GCs, the general contractors. Because if you do it the opposite way, you say, here are my plans, tell me the price, next thing you know, you get numbers that are way out of balance. And maybe your project doesn't come to life. It takes a lot of hard work and tenacity, not necessarily being smart book-wise, right? You don't have to, but being smart enough to know where the right resources are that you have to go and get, that's what you really need to do. Resourcefulness and grit. Those 2 things. Keep that in mind. Don't need to be book smart. I went to a graduate school. I was a little bit different, but I went to graduate school for something completely different than this. So again, it has nothing to do with how smart you are. It has everything to do with your grit and your dedication and your tenacity.
Guys, when you're looking at materials, always make sure it's quality. No matter what it is, no matter where you're getting it from, quality is extremely important. We have hurricane impact resistance glass that meets all the code that's required for us in our particular municipality, you have to adhere to the codes that are required in your neck of the woods. Right? For us, we got this beautiful glass, impact resistance, brought a lot of value, and was very cost effective in the way we were able to source it. So always keep those things in mind. Looked at a couple different suppliers, a couple different manufacturers, until we were able to track down the right one that made sense for our particular project. I went to go see it. I saw it on another building. I saw it installed. I liked the quality. I liked the finish. I gave the contractors the approval, and we moved forward.
The foundation of anything successful starts by placing one block at a time. One block, right? So always remember that. This building, I have almost 100,000 blocks, 90-something thousand blocks. Actually 96,300 and something to be precise, but with waste and everything, let's assume there's 100,000 blocks that are gonna go around to cover this entire property. But we only get to the finish line by laying one block at a time. Always remember that. No matter how big your challenge, how big your obstacle, all you have to do to make progress is lay down one block at a time. That's it, that's all you have to do. One step at a time, one block at a time. The end goal, finish the entire building. But we cannot do that unless you do one block at a time. So always remember that no matter what problem you're facing today, or what problem you're gonna face tomorrow, or what problem you're still carrying with you from yesterday, let it go. Remember, one block at a time is gonna help you get to where you need to go. One step at a time. Same thing, no matter how big the challenge that you have to overcome, take it one block at a time. We started putting our concrete blocks, which is an awesome thing to be seeing. Second floor exterior wall has concrete blocks. Our crash wall, this is residential area, this is hallways. On the other side is where we have the cars parking in. Come, I'll show you, look, right over here we have cars. All over on this section here, right in there. And so we divide parking area versus the residential area by putting in a poured in place, cast in place concrete low wall, followed by a block wall right over top. So come on, I'll give you guys a quick tour just so you can see. Today we're pouring the 5th floor of our building, but check this out. This opens up the entire area. In some of the videos you've seen before, we've had everything from our post-shore columns to scaffolding, and it's all been cluttered up, but now you can have a straight shot looking all the way through to the end. So 3 months into construction, and we've made solid progress. I love the block work. Something that you want to see whenever you're seeing block work is that it's smooth, right? You don't have all these bunched up areas of masonry all the way through, so it's nice and smooth, so the guys don't have to come back and do more work again. Also, you want to make sure you get a level, right? Give you an example, you get a level. Check this out. Technology, this is the cool thing about technology. Nowadays, you can put your level and look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Because if we saw it this way, that means we'd be off level, right? If we saw it this way, that means we'd be off level. I'm right at level. So every so often, you want to make sure you inspect what you expect. And so as I go down the line, I'll be checking to make sure that every single point that I identify is on task with what I'm looking for.
Construction financing is extremely important, right? Because without construction financing, your construction project will not come to life. If you're doing a renovation job, you're gonna need some renovation or construction dollars. Anytime you do that, you have to go to a lender, right? And then you have to have loan documents. These are the loan documents for my project, the one that I've been showing you guys about. It's a $24.5 million loan. You have to be able to go through the details, understand exactly what's there, right? Make sure the terms and conditions work for you, because ultimately, on a loan, you have to pay that back, whether that's by a refinance event or a sale event. You have to negotiate, You have to understand the documents that are there. You have to work with good counsel so they give you good advice so that you can execute on this and you can move forward. So anytime you're going to close a loan, remember, make sure you have great counsel that will help you along the way. When you invest in the right team, the right partnerships, the right consultants, the right project, the right operating partners, when everything comes together and you've done all the work to make this thing come to life, good things can happen. I see terrible news all the time. I see guys raising so much money through different funds, and then yet they steal it, they walk away, and they go and they buy cars, fancy boats, fancy watches, and all that. Listen, what I do, I don't care about any of that stuff. The only thing that I care about is making sure my project gets done on time, in budget, and gets finished. Those are the only three things that should matter to any real estate developer anywhere at all times. Right? Yes, we all have visions of, growing and scaling our business, doing multiple projects, having, greater returns for all of our stakeholders. But the most important thing is getting your project to the finish line. Right now, getting to the roof, that's a big milestone for us. I love to share all of our successes with everybody that's a part of my project, right? But I also share all of the losses and any of the obstacles and challenges that I'm facing, right? So everybody that's a part of my project, from investors to lenders to partners to consultants, everyone knows our projects are completely transparent. Everyone sees exactly what's going on at all times. Why? Because there are no secrets. The more transparent we can be, the better the process will be for everybody involved. If you're a long-term person and you're seeing this as a long-term play, let's get together. If you're looking for a quick, get rich kind of thing, this is not for you. Real estate does take time. And what I mean time is, you get a project going from start to finish, it'll be done in 1 year. The entire process of the pre-development, finding the site, negotiating the site plan approvals, entitlements, plans, building permits, construction financing, that's another year. So project at minimum, a good sized projects like the ones that I get involved in take 2 years. 3 years to start seeing some good returns or some good income from the cash flow from the property. It'll be up to 5-year hold. If you guys are ever interested in working together with someone that shows you exactly what's going on every step of the way, reach out to me. If you're interested in learning how to participate in something like this, let me know. If you guys want to know how it's done, shoot me an email, a DM, and I'll show you guys how it's done. Take care. Listen guys, stamps from the county, your stamps of approval, your permitted plans, you need to have those no matter what. It's a process that every project will go through, whether you're opening up a new business, whether you're working on an existing property or existing renovation, you need to have your approvals in place so that you can move forward. Make sure you see those, because the last thing you want to do is you want to start doing any work without these approvals, and then it comes back to bite you later on. So make sure you have the approvals. They're critical, very important.
No matter what your dream is, no matter what your goal is, you can get there. You can make it. But you have to really, really deep down inside believe that you can do it. You have to believe that it's possible. Don't let the obstacles stop you. Don't let the obstacles overcome you. You have to continue moving forward. Unless you continue moving forward, there's no way any of this is ever going to happen. And this is the culmination of working with a great team, great partners, great lenders, everyone that played a role in making this happen helped get us here. And so, not for 1 second do I believe that I made it here all by myself. First, thanks God. Second, thank you to my family. Third, thank you to the team and everybody else that worked together on this project. And the only way you can make these things come true is with working with other people. right? Communicating what your vision is, executing on your strategy, and moving forward. Always moving forward, no matter what. Continue moving forward. Listen, you can make it, no matter where you are. You might be sitting on your couch somewhere thinking, you know, it's over for me, I can't do it. I've been there, I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to start from nothing, and then one day be standing on the rooftop of a dream that you had that came to life because you worked at it, you fought for it, you literally bled for it. I'm like bleeding over here, and you did not quit.
So when you're looking at your materials, look at many different varieties and selections, right? Look at cost, look at quality, right? Look at timing when it's going to be imported or shipped into your property. So I looked at a few, right? You can see right here, this is just one supplier that sent us some materials. I ended up selecting this style. I liked it more, was more of a personal preference, but I asked around also, what were other multifamily communities bringing to their projects, right? What was the new trend that's coming along? In this particular case, it was vinyl luxury tile. It worked out very, very nice, very quick to install, and very cost effective as well, right? Versus what's been typically installed here in this part of our city, which is just typical tile, right? So just look through many, look through several, get pricing, and understand the quality, which is also very important, all right?
It takes an inordinate amount of effort and energy and desire and passion to make something like this come to life. However, I am going to show you guys exactly how that comes to life. So we just finished pouring the roof and we are starting to work on all the interiors. And I'm going to show you guys every step of the way of what it requires to do a project like this. So that one day, if you decide to do your own project, you'll be able to be that much more ahead of the curve. Or if you decide you want to invest in a project like this, because hey, listen, the truth is it takes a huge amount of work. If you'd like to grow your capital, grow your wealth, and show great returns, reach out to me. This is where the air conditioning goes through, right? These are flexible ducts, right? Why are they called flexible ducts? Because they're pretty flexible. Pretty flexible. These are the grills, right? The grates where the air will actually come through. And they're already starting to prepare them. Because you see the main duct line, that's rigid. That's a rigid square duct. That one's already installed. So then from there they have to branch off, and it's what they're doing now. And you can see right down the line we have all of our fire sprinkler pipe, right? Set through the corridor or hallway. ¿Onda? ¿Todo bien? Dándole, empujando. You see this? Yeah, every 2 cells have to have concrete. So no concrete, no concrete, concrete, no concrete, no concrete, concrete. See that? That's all part of the specification and how it's done. Same exact thing goes for the rebar. Every 2 cells are gonna have rebar. Yeah, just little things that as you're walking through, you pick up and you see. So it'll be a nice window here. You're working out and you're seeing right behind, you know, the pool deck and some, you know, lounge chairs and all that good stuff. This entire open area is a parking garage. It's the 2nd floor where the cars drive in from the ramp and they park right underneath this entire section. Okay, so on a project like this, you always need to have substantial parking. I was able to get away with having multiple levels of parking because I was able to use a lot of the space around the perimeter of the project. So less parking structure means less money in cost, right? Because every time I have to add more levels of parking means I have to add more columns, more rebar, more post-tension cables, more concrete, more time. All of that means things are going to cost more. So we were able to kind of reduce some of that during the design work. That which you see right there, that's the underside of the pool. Whenever you're working on your goals and your dreams and your passions and your desires, make sure to also think strategically, right?
it's great that you have high-level goals, and it's great that you want to accomplish, some really big things, whether it's building a next powerful app, whether it's putting your community together, for some event or something that you're passionate about. But make sure that during all of that, you're thinking strategically. Who are the people that you need to work with? Who is going to help you raise some funds, right? Where are those funds? Where are the people that you need to do strategic partnerships with? Because remember, you'll be able to do more with partners. But I'll tell you this, you won't be able to do anything with no partners or with bad partners, right? Everyone needs to work with others to be able to make your dream and your goals and your passions come to life. That's the truth. Now, I consider everyone a partner, even if you're not an actual stakeholder in the project, right? Or in the building of my vision. You can be a partner, right? But you have to think, who are the partners that are gonna be in your life? Are they other friends? Are they other mentors? Are they maybe even family members, right? You have to think, who can you work with that's gonna help you make your dreams and your goals come to life, right? And then you have to execute every single day. None of this comes to life without other people. That's the bottom line. All of it requires people, all of it requires work, all of it requires determination and grit, right? I can only say it enough times to you, but you have to internalize it. What does that mean to you? What does determination mean? It means, well, I'm gonna get up early this day and I'm gonna work on 2 or 3 small tasks that are gonna help me get to where I need to get to, right? I'm going to make a few more phone calls today because I know that by making those phone calls, I'm going to be able to get closer to reaching my goal. Or I'm going to meet new people that I'm going to give value for, right? Don't just meet people for the sake of meeting people. Be a person of value. Try to give. The more you give, the better your life's gonna be overall. 1, it's just gonna feel good, right? But 2, you're gonna open your doors and network with people and get to know people. But it has to come from a genuine place, right? Very genuine. You can't just go out there and try to meet people and try to take. Give me this, give me that, give me an introduction, give me a meeting, give me some money, give me. If you take that approach, I promise you'll fall on your face. No one's gonna wanna talk to you. People see that a mile away. But if you come up to someone and you say, listen, I have something that I think I'd like to share with you. I think it could be a service. I think it could be of help. I think it could be of value. That's it. Maybe it's not of value to that person. But if it is, you have just opened the door to work with someone else that you didn't know before, which is important, right? I've always done that. I've always tried to give more value than I could have ever taken. I've always done that. And because of that, one of the reasons why you can hear that this building is coming to life now. So anyways, just want to share that with you guys as we kind of walk and tour, keep touring the building. So for all the units, they did a water containment test, right? So they fill it up with water and they leave it there. Sometimes when you're so agitated, it's during the middle of the day, you just dunk your head in there. By this stage, it's just a construction challenge. We now have a big team that helps work on this, right? The contractors, the subcontractors, the engineers, the consultant, the inspectors, and everybody else. Prior to this, it was like the Lone Ranger, right? Because it's about finding sites, negotiating deals, finding the capital, structuring the deals, closing on the sites. That's just, you just gotta go all in and you gotta do everything you can to try to make it come to life. And it's difficult sometimes.
Guys, sourcing properties is one key fundamental aspect of all real estate investing, developing, or creating businesses. You have to be able to find good properties at a good price that you can purchase, execute, and then exit. But you have to find them. How do you do that? You have to build your network. You have to be able to go out and make new relationships with brokers, real estate agents, lenders, insurance agents, consultants, anybody that's in your business or your type of business, you need to be reaching out to. They need to know that you're in this market and this is what you're doing. So they have to know who you are, you have to know who they are. You have to stay on their radar, right? Until the point where you have enough deal flow that then it's just coming at you pretty consistently. You're the one that has to go out there, whether it's emails, whether it's online, whether it's through social media, however you get through, you have to be able to get yourself known so others can work with you.
All right, let's walk. We're walking through one of these. You start seeing it take shape already. You just walk right in through the hallway, right? Walk right into one of the units. You walk in, there are bathrooms, kitchens, living area, a room. You can see that. This is a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. You can see this is one of the units with the bathroom, closet, shower, bathtub. This is one of the smaller ones. This one's about, I think this one we have at about 650 square feet, more or less, approximately. One of the main reasons why you always want to make sure that you're walking your job site, that you're looking at things, is because there's issues or potential problems that you're trying to avoid for the future. So with your eyes, you see what's going on before they start closing up, because once the drywall goes in, there's no way you're going to be able to see anything, right? It's closed off for the most part. Then it makes it a lot more difficult to assess and address different issues. Now that I get to this stage in the project, I start thinking about the next project, you know, about how to start putting together the next one, how to assemble it, what's the right team, what are the right components, what do we got to bring in, what's the capital structure, what's the debt structure, all of these things. A lot of guys, they go in and they buy up existing multifamily properties, which is fantastic, right? That's not, you know, it's a lot simpler than doing something like this. Because you go in, you see something that's existing, you walk into some of the units, you figure, all right, well, this is going to take, you know, a couple $1,000s to renovate, upgrade, you know, change flooring, change the cabinets, just do some basic stuff. Here, we're going full out from the beginning all the way to the end. Takes a little bit longer, right? A building like this, an investment like this, take about 3 years. However, the returns are by far like nothing anywhere. That's just the bottom line. They're like nothing anywhere. Why? Because we're taking something that doesn't exist, creating value from what it really costs, and going into a market where the demand is substantially great. So, especially here in Miami, right? Miami, South Florida, that demand for multifamily buildings is substantial. The reality is, Miami, for anything, the demand is pretty great. So you don't even see that many multifamily buildings come to the market, and anything that comes to the market goes off the market very fast because the appetite for something like this is very strong.
When you're getting ready to go out and market your project, market your property, maybe you don't have it under contract yet, maybe you're just thinking about a particular site, you have to go through all the details, you have to go through the numbers, you have to create these spreadsheets that show what the cash flow will be into the future, what the value will be into the future. You always have to think as a value investor. How are you bringing value to this particular property or project? And how do you do that? If it's just vacant land, you're creating value by creating a project. If you have an existing property that you're trying to take down and it needs renovation and it needs work, how are you creating value in that particular case? Whether it's the existing owner, it's costing him too much to renovate it and you can come in at half the cost, or whether you're able to accelerate time on construction and bring down your interest cost and come to market a lot faster than everybody else. Maybe that's an option, maybe that's a way you guys bring value, but always have in mind how you can create value. Where's the value play? Are you able to buy the site or the property at such a low discount that it makes absolute sense to buy now, even if you have to hold it for a few years? Where's the value play? Think about that. Is management in place on an existing building and it's being operated inefficiently, but you believe that bringing in new management, you can help turn this asset around? That's value. You're going to get paid on the amount of value you bring. If you bring very little value, you will get paid very little. If you bring a lot of value, you will get paid a lot. So always remember that. Be a person of value and you will go a long way, whether that's in your own company, if you're working for somebody else, no matter what, be a person of value.
We've received a shipment for our lobby tile. We're using a really nice Roca tile. It has a modern look, really nice texture. Can't wait to see it go down. We'll have it installed at some point early next week, along with the rest of the flooring system. We're at the phase of the job now where I'm just starting to look at flooring for the units, for the hallways, and for the lobby area, so we can start wrapping everything up. We're almost there, guys. We're at the last stretch. This is a really nice tiling system. This is where our shipment of our quartz countertops are being stored right now. Look at this beautiful quartz that's being installed in all the units. Right, every single unit is getting quartz countertops. Every single unit is getting quartz on the vanity bathroom, and so awesome, because a lot of the older product, they were getting granite countertops. And granite was, kind of phasing out. Older product still has that Formica stuff. It's kind of like a laminate that peels off. That's no good. But this stuff here is gonna last a very long time. Super quality, very nice, super modern. Excited that it's already here. It traveled from a long distance to get here, but it's here. So hold it right there. These are from India. Hey, traveled from a long distance. This whole building is made in America. Some of the products we have from other parts of the world. Work with everybody. Create something for your community. Create value. Have everybody participate, and you'll be able to do something special. So awesome, awesome, awesome.
Guys, when you're gonna sell your property, you're just gonna sell, you have to engage with the community, with brokers, with other investors, with other buyers and other lenders, so that you have an understanding of what you can sell this property for in your market, right? You have great brokers that do all these different books that provide information, right, that show exactly what a property could sell for, what's competing right in your neck of the woods. Those things you need to know. Data is critical. Understand what projects have sold for, what other buildings are selling for, what is coming to the market, what's the pipeline, how does it compare to your product, right? What kind of asset class is it? What are the rents? What are the expenses for those? So that you can have an educated guess of what you think you can put your property on the market for.
Just received a shipment of our rooftop AC units. These units are gonna go right over here. So these get installed on top of the roof, and that way we have space and we don't have to put them around the perimeter of the property. The best place to put your units are on the roof. So we just received them. American pride, baby, American pride. I take the next building that I'm going to do and make even less changes or less errors or less mistakes as we go through. Now, in every project you're gonna have small hiccups, and as long as those are small hurdles that you can overcome, then you'll be in a good position. Like all of the issues that have come our way have all been small. They haven't been anything catastrophic. They haven't stopped the project. It is at a very, very good position. Now, had we had terrible design, bad contractors, bad architects, bad engineers, we would not be here. So I'm very, very proud to say we've had the right people, the right lenders. Everybody that has worked on the job has really done very, very well. So it's interesting, like in all these projects, there's always waste. Like all this is waste. Now, as a developer, I have a guaranteed maximum price, right, that my contractor has to make, fit and work. So him wasting that's really on them. If it costs them more, unfortunately for them. If I'm doing the project if I were to be the contractor, I'd be trying to save as much material as I can. I mean, that's crucial, right? You don't want to have wasted materials. All right, so at this stage of project progress, what I look for right now on the first floor is they're taping, they're covering all the nails, right? Every nail has to be covered up. I want to be sure I see that as I walk through. I'm glancing, I'm looking up at the ceiling, I'm looking down, making sure they have tape everywhere else. Taping, because right after all of this is covered, then we come in with the finish, and then we come in with the paint. So, you know, during a normal walkthrough, I'm just looking for tape, covering of where the nails are, making sure the drywall looks pretty straight, looks pretty level, and then we just continue. That's a pretty typical, you know, walkthrough. This is insulation, right? This is insulation that goes in between the floor slab, and then right on top of this is concrete, right? So this insulation that we have here, if you think about life for a second, you have to insulate yourself away from all the negative comments, all the negative talk, all the negative chatter. It's so important for you to do that. Same way that I'm insulating the building to make sure, right, that we have good insulation, that heat doesn't penetrate as much, that we have exactly what we need for all the components. The same way your life, you have to insulate it, right? Make sure that you get rid of all the negative comments, all the negative thoughts, all the negative chatter. It's gonna rain, storms come, just like that one. But you wanna make sure that you insulate yourself away from that. Here in the building is going to generate income, right? That's the top line item, your gross rental income. How much economic value can I extract from this individual unit, right? That's what I'm thinking as a developer. That's what I'm thinking as an owner when I am designing this building, when I'm designing the space, right? I want to try to make it as open as possible. I want to try to have as much floor space available so that my future resident comes in here, sees themselves living here, having enough space for them, and is able to pay the rent that's required to live here. So that's top of the line. How much income is coming into the building from this individual unit? And I think about that in terms of every single unit that I have in the building, what type of views that they have, you know, how many bedrooms, you know, where's the walk-in closets. All of those things are constantly on my mind to see how we can extract more value, more economic, you know, income from the individual unit, because every single dollar that we add to the gross income level is gonna be $1 extra more to the NOI, which is our net operating income, which means that we can pay out to our lender and we can keep more for ourselves as the owner developers. Or if we're going to sell the building, that bottom line number, the NOI, remember that net operating income, that amount is what's going to be the value that people are going to see. And based on the interest rates, higher that NOI, the higher the sale price. Remember that. Higher NOI, higher selling price. Always, right? The number one thing you need to do in order to be able to communicate with people is just be yourself. That's number one. Don't pretend you're somebody else. Don't pretend you're somebody that you're not. Don't pretend. Be yourself 100%, because that's the easiest thing to be, okay? So that's number one. Number two is be honest. Straight up, straightforward, and honest with people. Be transparent, bring value, show them how you can help them either make money, save money, or grow their business. 3 things. Can I bring you customers? Can I help you save on your existing expenses? Those are things that you can do. If you have a product, if you have a shirt, maybe it's a really good shirt that you don't sweat through. Show them, this is the product. Have one shirt, wear it, run, exercise with it, bring it back tomorrow and tell me if you didn't like it, right? Always bring value. Always try to communicate how you can help somebody else. If you can do that, you're off to the right start.
To work with your design team, make sure you select a good architect, a good engineer that has worked on these same projects time and time again, because they're gonna help your education a lot faster, especially if it's the first time you're doing something. But listen to this, when you're working through your construction documents and you're getting your plans, make sure you go through every single page, look at all the details, ask many questions, right? One of the things that I do is I get my plans digitized. What does that mean? It means that I understand every single cubic yard of concrete that's coming into the project, where the columns are, what the square footages of the slabs are, what the square footages of the windows are. Every single component, everyone, you have to be sure you know. Why? And I'll explain this to you this way. Imagine if you're trying to build something and you don't know what the true cost is. You're gonna have others tell you what the cost could be, but until you know the real raw materials, that's what I do. I find out exactly how much each individual material cost for the job. Then I look at what the labor rates are going to be. And then I'm able to assemble it and have a good high-level discussion with subcontractors and contractors. That's something you have to do. No matter what kind of business you're in the development business like the one I'm in, you always need to know what those raw materials are costing so that you do not overpay for something you don't have to.
All right, listen, when you guys are looking to invest in a property, looking to invest in a project, make sure that the sponsor, the syndicator, the developer, whoever you're investing your money in, right, has track record, can walk you to a project, can walk you not just to a project, but can walk you through a project, meaning how did he get there? How did the process unfold? Where were the risks of the project? What did that sponsor, developer, manager, what did they do to decrease the risk? How were they trying to increase the upside of the project? What were they doing? Try to get into their psyche, into their mentality of how it is that they do this, right? That's very important. You want to make sure that you're literally sitting there face to face, whether it's through telephone communication, video communication, if you can actually meet with them face to face. You always want to make sure you understand how their mind is focused on getting you your funds back, protecting your capital, right? And being able to create more wealth and generate the type of returns that they're telling you that they're going to generate. Do they understand the market? Right? That's very important. Do they understand the market? Do they understand the rents of that market? Right? Do they understand how to operate an investment vehicle? Do they understand how to operate a property? Right? What's been their track record? Is this their first time? Is this their 20th time? Have they been successful in the past? That to me is the number one indicator. Have they been successful in the past? What do their lenders say about them? Listen, if you can pick up the phone and talk to their lenders, and their lenders can say, this is what we feel, or if their lenders put out some sort of information out there that says, hey, we support this guy, this group, this investment, that's important, right? Because one thing is for me to tell you how great I am and all the great things that I'm doing, but it's something else for my lenders to come in and say, you know what, we support him, we back him, we will do more deals with this group, individual person. That's very important. So make sure that's in mind. I want to make sure that everything that has been done to date is finalized. Now, my contractor tells me, yes, things are finalized, but I want to be absolutely certain that everything is finalized. It's very important that you put your eyes on what you have to inspect. So we're going to take a look right now. See one of the units. Very clean, very nice. Third floor, unit looks ready. Looks like we're ready to go here. I don't have to spend much time because I've walked these units many times over. So I look for some minor things, but as I see, we are ready to go here.
Where is the investor, the sponsor, the developer that you've invested capital into? Where are they? What are they doing? How are they helping your capital grow, right? Just because you're a developer, you're a sponsor, you're a syndicator, doesn't mean that you take your hands off the prize and you let the contractors go and do what they need to. You have to inspect what you expect. Saturday afternoon, over here, looking at our nearly completed finished product, walking it again and again on a daily basis. They were working today, they were finishing up some things. We came over to make sure that we're always inspecting, we're always looking, our eyes are always on the property, right? The entire team, that's fine. But if you want to be a leader, if you want to lead your team, you have to show up.
You have to be there and you have to watch everything that's going on. And that's it, bottom line, right? As long as you do that, as long as you show your team that you're out there, lead by example, right? Lead by actions. Don't lead by talking. I always think of this. I hear it's like seagulls, right? You throw some bread, and I call it like seagull CEOs. They show up, they make a lot of noise, and they take off. That to me is no good. If you're going to lead a team, if you're going to lead a project, if you're going to lead anything, an investment, if you're gonna lead an entire fund, you need to be sure that you're looking at every single detail. I don't care if you're looking at it on a spreadsheet or you're looking at it live and in real time, like the way that I do for my developments and my investments. It's that important to me. It's a passion that I have, and it's what I would expect. If I invest in you, I would expect the exact same thing. I would expect you to live, breathe, and eat the investment, the development, the project, the business, everything else. Otherwise, that's why businesses tank. And what are you gonna say? Sorry, Charlie, I lost it? No. You need to be able to look at the other person in the eye and tell them, hey, it's here. We're making it happen. You see this? It's real blocks, right? It's real. Other people do it a different way. They do it through financial investments and those kind of vehicles. That's fine. That's a different business, not mine. Real estate is my thing, right? And so if you guys ever want to connect, you guys want to see how this is put together, just reach out. We'd love to just say hey and show you guys a little bit about real estate investment as it is. Take care.
Everything. That's the bottom line. Everything you do is going to be a negotiation, right? So whether it's the purchase and sale agreement, right, when you first sign a contract, whether it's your loan that you're going to close, whether it's your contractor's contract that you're going to wrap up, everything, every step of the way is a negotiation. Don't accept things that you cannot accept. Be upfront and let them know ahead of time what you can and what you cannot do, right? Work with transparency so you can build trust down the line in the negotiation. But remember, you have to negotiate everything. Don't allow yourself to be in a position where you need something so bad that you're put in a corner that then you have no other option. Create options every step of the way. So that way, if one path closes, the other one remains open, or the other one, or the other one. All right?
So in the beginning, they said there must be light. Let there be light. Check out right behind me. So the lights are up on the 3rd floor. This is our pool deck, our pool area. Super excited to show this to you guys because this means that we're fully powered on, right? We have all our lights up. We're literally having our FPL meters being installed. To get to this point, there's a lot of back and forth negotiations that had to happen with the Florida Power and Light Company. Thumbs up to them. Super awesome to work with them to help us get to this point. So give you guys a tour. So these plants are pretty interesting because being on the 3rd floor, we're higher up. So the higher up, we have to select plants that are gonna be really with no shade, right? So they're getting direct sunlight almost at all times. So it's important to select the right landscape that's gonna survive in these planters. Now, I was making a decision early on whether to irrigate the planters, not irrigate the planters. This was something that, was an additional cost slightly, but it was well worth it because we could have irrigated, had somebody with a hose bib and a hose come over and just water the plants, but then that means that I'm putting the responsibility of maintaining these plants onto the property management team, and I didn't want to do that. I want to leave it automatic, set up, irrigation turns on, takes care of the plants, and hopefully they'll thrive, right? That's the goal.
Hey guys, when you're going to exit your property or your project, you have to understand what the entire market is doing at that given point in time. The capital markets and the financial markets, because they're going to determine which route you're going to take. You may be going to sell into a very high interest rate environment. That may not make sense. You might want to sell in a low interest rate environment. But then again, you have to look at what about if you refinance at a low interest rate environment and you have good long-term debt over a long period of time. So you got to think of your both strategies as you're going to exit, how you're going to execute. And you have to do that from the beginning. You have to be able to put together a list of all the existing projects that are on the market, properties that are competing against you, and seeing which buildings are coming online. How much are they gonna sell for? What's their cap rates, right? What's their NOIs? How are they doing? How are they performing? You have to look at those things, because once you understand the value, then you can make an informed decision if you want to sell or if you need to hold. The beautiful part about multifamily development and multifamily projects is that you can actually have two exits. You can hold it, refinance, take your equity out, and then sometime down the line, maybe 3, 4, 10 years later, you can sell the building in a better environment. Okay?
Two things. One, know that everything will pass. Everything has a time, and everything has a beginning and an end, and it will pass, whatever it is. And number two, just understand and feel that you got this. No matter what it is, that you can handle this. That you can handle this. That's it. The world could be imploding all around you. Terrible things could be happening, but stay focused on what you need to stay focused on. I need to stay focused on doing the next project. If I allowed all the news and all the bad things and all the media and all the craziness to stop me or hold me back or distract me and my team, this project would have never come to life. So no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, right, you need to stay focused on the task at hand. If you're an office administrator, stay focused on the task at hand. Don't get caught up in all the madness. If you're a cake baker, stay focused on the task at hand. All the what if scenarios are what ifs. That's all they are. They are what if scenarios. You can play a million what if scenarios in your mind. But the only thing that's truly matters is what you can control right now on this given day. And that's it. Tomorrow something else might come up. You have to handle it at that point in time, right? Yes, always prepare, but remember, focus on the task at hand today, right? Do what needs to get done today.
Hey guys, welcome to the gym. So the gym, I redesigned completely from the beginning because we had a smaller space. I decided to cut off a certain section, open it up and expand it. Let me show you guys, look at this. Gym equipment, cardio equipment, treadmills, all facing our beautiful pool, right? You have to make sure you set up your equipment in a way that it's going to be beneficial and that as somebody's exercising, they're gonna get some value out of it, especially through these windows. We got some lifting stuff. You can see right over here, we got our pool. Come on, let me show you guys what else we got. We got some heavy duty lifting equipment for the big strong fellows and gals. We got our free weights right over here. And I am ready to work out and pump you up. All right guys, let's go. So you guys want to make sure you have consistent, stable income stream, right? No matter what, right? Over the course of your life, you want to make sure that your investment dollars are working for you. You might have 30, 40 good years. You might have 10, doesn't matter. What does matter is that those dollars are being put to work in the right way. So I'm going to come right over here. This is a unit, and in this unit, someone will be living here. Someone is going to be paying the rent here. And this rent, a portion of the rent, is going to go to pay for the operating expenses of the building. Another portion of the rent is going to go to pay the debt of the building. And another portion of the rent is going to go to pay back the equity from investors like yourself. And so that way everybody gets paid back. If it was a very thoughtful, planned out project, like the one that I've done here, everybody will be able to receive the benefits that they were looking for. And that's key. That's key on any project. Now, I'm not the only developer that does this. There's multiple developers that do this. Right? They all do the same thing, but the majority of them, they take most of the equity from the project from either big institutions, big funds, big groups, and they never allow the smaller investor to participate in these things. I'm doing a little bit differently now. I want to have you guys be a part of this, right? Ground up development, existing multifamily. So you guys can get an opportunity to work alongside on these kind of projects. But not you don't have to specifically work. Your investment capital gets put to work. And then we turn it into this. We turn it into quartz countertops. We turn it into stainless steel appliances. We turn it into an area, right, where people will come to live and work and play and be able to cover the rent, right? Be able to afford living here and be able to generate returns for all of us. That's the goal. All right, guys? That's the goal. Guys, one day you're gonna exit your project, your property. Keep that in mind. Think about what you're going to do to exit the right way for yourself, your partners, and your investors. Think it through. Think of your strategies. You're gonna buy, sell, or hold. But you always remember, you're gonna have an exit one day. Hey guys, so I'm gonna walk you through an entire unit, show you exactly what it is that we installed, starting with the kitchen. Check this out. So this is stainless steel appliances. One of the things that I really wanted to do was I added water, crushed ice, cubed ice, because a lot of multifamily communities do not have that. And what I thought was very important for residents is to have a 2-door refrigerator. I thought that was kind of important. I thought it'd be kind of nice for them. As I'm doing, this is it. This is the final walkthrough. I've already walked through all the units. I'm re-inspecting them one final time before they give me the final keys and I completely turn this thing over. I want to make sure that everything that I looked at during the construction process, during the development process, is exactly what I expected. Our cabinets are in, our handles are tight, all of our appliances work. And I'm giving it one final look just to see right before I accept the units. I have the entire team does this. Team comes behind me, but I select a few of the units just to be certain that I like what I see. Come over, I check the faucets, check the water. Everything looks good. Everything looks clean. Clean is very important. Flooring looks great. Our quartz countertop looks nice and level. We're gonna walk through. I'm looking at fixtures to see our HVAC and our water heater. All of this has been inspected already, passed, approved by the county, the inspectors, but I always give it one final look just to see if there's anything that catches my eye, catches my attention. All right, walk through the hallways, looking at the fire alarms. I want to be sure the light opens up exactly how it should. We'll walk into one of these other closets now. Same thing. Does this open and close? Yes, it does. I like it. The racks are nicely set. Fire sprinklers are in. That's what you want to see with the blinds. Open and close, just like that. So far, so good. I'm liking what I see with the paint. I'm liking what I see with the outlets. Decided to go with a really nice smooth finish and a flat paint. I think that worked very well. I think the residents are gonna like it too. It has a really nice modern look and feel. Looking at the door handles, making sure those are set correctly. If we walk over here, look at one of the other closets. We open the doors, look inside one of the closets, making sure that the racks are set correctly. It's a nice walk-in closet, has a lot of space for a lot of clothing and a lot of storage. Now we're gonna check out the bathroom. Our cabinets. Good. Open up the fixtures, the faucets, check out the mirrors. Good. Everything looks tight, secured. And so far, it looks like it's ready to go. Washer and dryer. All right, guys, that was a quick tour of the finished product of the finished unit. This one's ready to go. I'm ready to hand over the keys to my resident, and we're ready to get this thing going.
Today is the last day of the year, December 31st, 2019, and we made it to the very end. The building is complete. There's some minor touch-ups that have to be done, but that will get handled after the TCO. Right, we're waiting just to have our documents and our paperwork processed by the county. As soon as we have that, we can open up these doors right next to me. This one here, and all 133 units and all the doors that are in this project. So it took 1 year to get built. It took literally a vision that I had in my mind, put it on paper, execute the heck out of this to make it work so that you can see exactly what I'm seeing over here. Check this out. A pool deck. Literally, I'm ready to jump in the pool. Just makes me think. Listen, guys, whatever it is you're working on, whatever it is that you have in your mind, don't quit on it. Don't give up on it. Keep moving, keep pushing forward, and you'll get there. And you gotta go through the obstacles. You gotta go through the pain. You gotta go through the challenges, through everything, in order to be able to get to the end. But I believe that you can do it. But you have to believe in yourself. I'm on this side. I was on that side. I know what it feels like. I know what it's like to grind. I know what it's like to push. I know what it's like to have obstacles in your way, to fail your way through everything. But then at the end, the sun comes out, the pool is sparkling, and the building's complete, right? But it's a challenge. It's a step-by-step process that you have to go through. And unless you live it, you'll never experience how it's like to be on the other side. Vision that came to life, executed on, and is now a reality. But you have to push, and you have to have a good team. You have to have a team in place. You have to learn the right skills. You have to work with the right resources. There's a lot of things that have to happen in order for your dream to come to life. But I believe that you can do it if you take that step. Take that leap of faith, take the step forward, go, begin now. Begin today, don't wait until tomorrow. Begin today. There's nothing that's holding you back except yourself. It's all here, guys. It's all here. If you win in this game, you win. If you're happy where you are, God bless you, congratulations. I'm happy for you. If you feel stuck, break out of those concrete boots and move forward until you get to where you want to get to.
Hey guys, I hope you've enjoyed the process. I hope you've seen the journey as it unfolded, overcoming all the challenges and all the obstacles. Always remember, believe in yourself. You guys can make this thing come to life. If you guys want to connect, find me online, Marlon at GomezDevelopmentGroup.com. Find me on social media platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all those things. But always remember, most important thing, take a leap of faith, take a step in the right direction of your goal and your dreams. Never give up, and always believe in possibilities. Guys, it's a wrap. I wish you the best. I wish you well. Take care. And now, a little bit of the fun part.